Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Healthy Aging Network. Today, we're going to be talking about falls prevention with two of my colleagues from around the state. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Aging Network. My name is Kathy Tutt, and I am the Family Consumer Sciences Educator for Ohio State University Extension in Clark County. Today, we're going to be specializing and talking a lot about falls prevention, and I have two of my colleagues from around the state who will be joining me. My first friend is Michelle Treber. So, Michelle, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Michelle Treber, and I'm an OSU Extension Family and Consumer Science Educator in Pikaway County. And my specialization is health and wellness, and I work a lot with adults on wellness initiatives.
And we also have Lorrissa Dunfee. So,
my name is Lorrissa Dunfee, and I'm Family and Consumer Science Educator in Belmont County, and I specialize in aging programs and health and wellness, as well as relationship and family.
Great. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. We're talking about falls prevention, and I know that there's a whole month that's dedicated to falls prevention. Could you tell me a little bit more about this? So why is it so important? Why does this get a whole month?
Well, falls are very common. 1 in 4 Americans age 65 and older fall every year. They're the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries for older Americans. Every 11 seconds, an older adult is seen in an emergency department for a fall-related injury. Many falls are preventable. Stay safe with these tips. Every 19 minutes, an older adult dies from a fall.
So those are some pretty big statistics. It's kind of shocking when you hear that. So can you tell me, I wonder, is falling just normal part of the aging? Is it something that just happens as we get older?
No, not really. Falling is not a normal part of aging. There are several things you can do to reduce your risk of falls. Strength and balance exercises, managing your medications, having your vision checked, and making your living environment safer are all steps you can take to prevent a fall. I want to share this picture of my sister Debbie, who has been type 1 diabetic for 62 years, and which means she's been on insulin for 62 years. She this summer started swimming, and since she started swimming 3 times a week, her blood work has been better than it has been in years. Her diabetic doctor said it was due to her exercise, her balance is better, and she's steadier on her feet. So kudos to her for starting this exercise program. It was a bit of a struggle for her. She did not want to do it, but really feels better now that she has started this exercise program.
So that's really good to hear.
Yes, it is. It is. I'm proud of her.
Right. We heard about the numbers and the statistics related to falls, but is there a financial impact when it comes to falls as well?
Definitely. There's the average hospital cost from a fall is $34,294, and that was in 2012. So I'm sure that has increased. And falls not only cost financially, but also on a personal level, can impact a person's quality of life. So then on a financial level, it can drain their financial resources. And in 2015, the total cost of fall injuries was $50 billion, with 75% paid by Medicare and Medicaid. And it's projected that costs are expected to reach $101 billion in 2030.
Those are some pretty staggering statistics. I know you said that falls isn't just a normal part of aging. But how do we have these numbers and all this dollar amount and these statistics, but is there a way that I can assess my risk for falling?
Yes, by using the falls free checkup provided by the National Council on Aging. The checklist was developed by the Greater Los Angeles VA Geriatric Research Education Clinical Center, and permission was granted to the NCOA to promote it. So the checklist is available both in English and Spanish, and it is completely confidential.
Again, I guess that is the website there on the screen, the ncoa.org.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So people can access it that way.
Correct.
So if I'm afraid of falling, is it true that if I just stay at home and I limit my activity, then I have less chance of falling?
Well, some people believe that the best way to prevent falls is to stay at home and limit their activity. But this is not true. 6 out of every 10 falls happen at home. Performing physical activities will actually help you stay independent, as your strength and range of motion benefit from remaining active. Social activities are also good for your overall health. Over half of all falls take place at home. Inspect your home for falls risk. Now, this is my other sister, Karen, who I've really worked for years trying to get both of my sisters to be more physically active. And in the last year, they both have started doing that. And this is Karen's quote, and she's 77, soon to be 78. Since she started walking, I feel stronger and can walk farther than she used to. So I'm really proud of her as well and the efforts that she's taking to improve her health. And it does help you in terms of once you start being more physically active, you feel better, and you're going to reduce your risk of falling at home as well.
Yeah, I remember reading something that a lot of older adults, they're afraid of falling, so they're less active, which means that they fall. And then when they fall, then they're afraid of falling again, so they're less active, and it makes them even weaker, so they're more prone to fall. And so I think it's really important. I like that you talk about that and how we need to keep active. You mentioned a second ago that over half of the falls take place in someone's home. So is there a way that I can assess my home to see if there are potential hazards in my home?
Yes, there are several different checklists out there that you can use. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Council on Aging, or the National Institutes on Aging all offer home assessment tools you can use to look for potential hazards. They provide some simple suggestions for modifications you can implement to reduce fall risks. Easy things that you can do, like reducing clutter, getting rid of throw rugs, adding better lighting. Some of these simple home modifications you might try could include adding grab bars in a bathroom, a second handrail on stairs, or non-slip paint on outdoor steps. So we just took some pictures. This is my sister's basement stairs going down, and on the right, which is pretty scary when you look at the steps and look at the stuff. I said, how do you reach the bags that are all the way over there? That's kind of dangerous. So they've made a few modifications, but not probably enough. This picture on the left is a throw rug that you could see if that is tucked up, that you could easily trip and fall over that. And I think we have a couple of more modifications to show.
Right. And so for this stairwell, what could we change? Should we put railings on both sides of the stairs then?
You could part of the way down, but then it's like an open area that just drops into that basement. Like on the first things I would do, and I did this after I took the picture, I removed the bags from some of those hooks that are, I said, how can you even reach those? And she's like, well, I lean and I get a broom or something and reach those. So I moved those to a safer spot. So it was a good idea perhaps to have those hooks, but it's really not safe if you're leaning over and reaching down that dangerous flight of steps. And she could also move the stuff at the bottom of the steps too.
Right.
This shows how you can have a easy to reach light on the right. That helps just light the surface area and the area where you are. And then the grab bars in the restroom, in the bathroom, that's very helpful as well.
And I would imagine too, having a light near your bed is very important, rather than turning the light off and traversing across a dark room. Having a lamp there that you could turn on and off once you get into the bed would help you preventing falls, especially in the evening or at night when you're going to bed.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So are there other things other than home modifications that people can do to reduce the risk for falls?
There sure are. There are a few other steps here that we're going to take a minute to address. And the first one is just plain movement and exercise. It's important to make sure you're moving You can start with an exercise program. It's an excellent way to build up that balance, strength, and flexibility. Another great thing to do is review your medication with your doctor or pharmacist. Some medications, both prescription and non-prescription, can actually have side effects such as dizziness that could be causing or could increase the risk of falling. And then getting your vision and hearing checked annually. Regular vision and hearing checkups are important. If you or your loved one wears glasses, make sure the prescription is current. And remember that if you're using tint changing lenses, they can be hazardous when going from bright sun into darkened rooms or buildings in your home. Bifocals can be problematic on stairs, and so you just want to make sure that you're keeping up with your regular vision and eye exam, as well as your hearing. And then finally, talking to your family members can be helpful for support and making any changes that you need to make.
I know when my mother, because she has Parkinson's disease, and I know when she would change medications, there were certain times that we would have to be very, very careful, and she would ask for someone in the family to come and be with her, when those changes were taking place, so that if she was unsteady on her feet, someone was there to help her out. So I think it's so important to share and have your family there with you.
That's great, yeah, and very insightful for your mother to know that, there were times that she felt less confident and ask for some, support in that.
Absolutely. So what would you say to someone out there who's thinking that exercise isn't important because muscle strength and flexibility can't be regained at an older age?
Well, while we lose muscle as we age, exercise can partially restore strength and flexibility. It's never too late to start an exercise program, even if you've been a couch potato your whole life. Becoming active now will benefit you in many ways, including protection from falls. Now, this is my brother-in-law, Tom, who's married to Debbie, and so they swim together. And he is 74, and he shared that since I started swimming, my balance has improved. I can put on my pants without holding on to anything, and I can balance myself. So that observation, he didn't even really realize that he was leaning up against a wall to get dressed in the morning until he really gained strength and balance from swimming. And he said, I can do that now without leaning against the wall. So, it was just very, very neat, that observation that he had about that.
That's fantastic. And I think, do we have a video that we want to show, Michelle?
We do. We have just 29 seconds of this video that we'd like to show. These are flexibility exercises that anybody can do, and that it's from Go for Life, and they're just very easy. You can do them at your home. So the first 29 seconds.
I want you to grab your towel from underneath your chair. Go ahead and stand up. What you're going to do is you're going to take your towel, put it in your right hand. I'd like you to throw it over your right shoulder, grabbing the bottom of the towel with your left hand. And what I'd like you to do is keep the elbow nice and tight to the side of your head and pull down. Now you're going to hold each stretch.
So thank you for that. The Go for Life is a website, right, that people can go to learn all about exercising and what might be healthy and important for an older adult.
Yes, and there are many, many options for different workouts that you can do, and they are all aimed towards older adults, and they're really good for anybody. So all different lengths, flexibility, strength as well. So you can check those out.
So, you talked a little bit ago about family support and talking to family members about falling and how it could be helpful. So why do you think that older adults sometimes don't share that? Why may they not feel comfortable with sharing that information with their family?
Well, I think oftentimes they're worried about losing their independence or being a burden, or maybe they don't want to alarm them. But it is really important for them to share the information with their family and with their doctors, because fall prevention is a team effort. bring it up with your doctor, family, and anyone else who is in a position that can help you, because they really want you to maintain your mobility and reduce your risk of falling. You know, there's no one wants to see someone have to leave their home or, not be able to live where they would like to live and be able to move around. So doctors are there to support us in our efforts, and our family wants to do that as well. And we have a picture of Sally. She agreed to allow us to share her story about how she copes with her concern of falling. And she says that I carry my cell phone in my pocket at all times. When I fell in a parking lot, I couldn't get up. I wasn't hurt, so I used my phone to call my daughter to help me. The cell phone boosts my confidence. And she's 83 years old, and I think that using her cell phone has given her some security, and it's a great safety measure that she implemented to give herself that reassurance.
That is great. That is great. I know I was at home actually, and a friend of mine from church sent me a picture of my mother at church with bruises all over her face and on her neck, and said, "Did you know that your mother fell out of bed last night?" I said, "No, I did not."
Oh my.
And then I asked my mom about it later, and of course her first thing was, well, they're tattletales at church. And then next thing is that she said, "I don't want you to put me in a home." And that wasn't what I was trying to do. I said, "Mom, let's talk to the doctor and see what we need to do to make some changes and what we can, try to get you in a better place, keep you going." And so
exactly.
I can absolutely relate to that, not wanting to tell people and hide it so that they don't lose their independence.
Right. And it's just a matter of getting that support from your family, because having more heads thinking about how to help is better than, keeping it all to yourself.
Right.
Maybe having another fall that puts you in a position that you don't really want to be in. So,
correct.
And the National Council on Aging is actually having a falls-free checkup discussion on Facebook, September 23rd at 6:30 p.m. So if you would like to learn more about the assessment tool, then tune in and they'll share some more information about it.
So what else do we have going on around the state as far as falls prevention? Can you guys share anything else? I know you've been doing you have a Facebook campaign going on right now, but what else are you doing as well?
Well, in September, later this month, on the 24th, from noon to 12:30, Lorrissa and I are doing a Standing Together to Prevent Falls Lunch and Learn lesson. So we're going to address some of the fears about falling, what are some of the impact that falls can have on us, and really we're going to talk about ways to reduce your risk of falls. So we would love to have you join us for this Lunch and Learn session. There's a registration link listed there, or you can contact Lorrissa at the number listed below as well.
Fantastic. And I think towards the end, we'll also put your contact information up again. Mm-hmm. So if they want to reach out to you, they can have a way to do that.
That'd be perfect. Thank you.
Great.
And we also, Michelle and I are both instructors for Matter of Balance, and Kathy, I believe you are as well, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's an excellent fall prevention program. It's 8 classes, typically 2 times a week. We meet for 4 weeks, but it's a great way for people to share their feelings surrounded their fear of falling maybe, or just have a discussion about falls. And they realize oftentimes that they're not alone in their fear or the fact that they've fallen. And so that just helps with that socialization and stuff too. But it's all about increasing their activity level when they learn exercises, they set goals, and then they do a home assessment, for the hazards that may be there and what they can do to make some changes. And then we're pretty excited about a new program that we're starting to, Michelle and I have a grant to offer bingo size, and it's a program that is it's 10 weeks, and it combines bingo with exercise. And so there's a health education component included in that, and then it addresses mobility and independence and teaches different fall reduction techniques, and again, the socialization component of it. So we're going to be offering that beginning towards late fall. And hopefully, people will enjoy that program as well and get some exercises and play the beloved bingo all the while.
That sounds like a great program. And again, they can contact you at your information at the end.
Yes.
If they're interested in those classes, right?
Yes.
Have one more slide here.
Yes. And we just want to thank everyone for joining us today. And as you can see, movement and exercise can really help you connect with others and feel better and reduce your stress. And we want to encourage you guys to get moving. And if you're already moving, then definitely keep moving. And this is my mother. She gave me permission to share a little bit about her story, but probably about 10 years ago, she started dancing. And so she line dances on a regular basis, and she goes all over the country to line dance. Who knew that there were line dancing cruises? Didn't know that, but she's been on them. There are line dancing conferences. She's been to them. So she really has a really love for dancing. And so she shared that dancing has improved my stamina and balance, as well as my coordination. It also is a great cardio boost, strengthens bones and reduces stress. Getting together with a group helps with loneliness and depression. And if I don't dance every week, I miss the laughter shared with fellow line dancers. And she is age 72. And she really does not want to miss dancing for anything. Like she really commits to going, and actually we encourage her to go because it really does help not only her to be physically active, but it really does help her mood as well. So it's a great thing for her to do.
Right. I know we talked a lot about, the physical aspects of exercising, but you also have those mental and emotional aspects of exercising too. It just gives you a little bit more zip in your step there.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone who is afraid, or they limit their activity because they're afraid of falling? Just say, for example, in one of my classes, I had someone mention that she doesn't ever go to her grandson's basketball games because she doesn't want to climb up the bleachers. By the time she gets there, the seats are in the front are taken, and she just doesn't go now. She forgoes those fun activities. Do you have any tips or any suggestions for someone who might be in that situation?
Well, I definitely think the old adage of if you don't use it, you lose it is true in this case. So I think that staying active and exercising and moving is super important, because if you don't, then you continue to lose strength and mobility. And also, I encourage people when they know that they're going to encounter a situation. I had a similar situation that one of the ladies in my Matter Balance class, she didn't want to go to a theater production because the venue is very dark when she walks in, and it has the graded slope and everything. And so I encouraged her to call ahead, and see if she could go in early, if she could have a seat close to the back so she wouldn't have to walk clear down the slope, those kinds of things. I even told her I would go along with her, because she said once all those people are in there, then she's afraid someone's going to bump her. And so I think just thinking things out like that, when you mentioned the basketball game, going early, getting your seat, or asking someone to save a seat for you that's easily accessible. Most people are really great about making accommodations if they know how they can help. And so I think just being an advocate for yourself, or when you have the support of your family, allowing them to be advocates for you, to make some calls to try to, assess the situation, go early, go ahead of time, have a plan.
Great. That's exactly what I told her, because she said, well, my kids are always late picking me up. And I said, then talk to them and tell them they're putting you in this position where you're uncomfortable and you need to go 10 minutes earlier.
Right.
And so, just having those conversations, again, not sweeping it under the rug, but being honest about your concerns doesn't make you weaker, and it doesn't make you seem to be fragile. It's just, stating what you need so that you can keep active is really important.
Well, and
Yeah.
they might not even know, you know, if the person isn't sharing their reason why they would like to go a little bit earlier. You know, and if we share that, that's part of that communication and being an advocate for yourself. You know, if they know that, then they can make adjustments. If they don't know that, then that's where the problem lies.
Yep. So don't be afraid to ask for help or ask somebody, you know, to help you with in a situation like that. And it's hard. Kind of the first time you ask, it is hard. You feel like, oh, darn it, I shouldn't have to ask that, and I don't want to do that. So I don't know. I think it's great to ask, and then you can receive some of the assistance you need.
Yeah. I had two ladies who like to go to the farmer's market, and because they're so crowded, they're afraid of getting bumped and knocked over. So they just said they just link arms, and by golly, if they're going to run over both of them, then they're both going to go down. But they, you know, stabilize each other just a little bit so they can continue to do that. So
I love that. That is great.
That's great.
yes. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. This is such an important topic. And again, we will put your information up on the screen. And if people want to contact you to find out more about your programs, they can do that. So thank you, ladies, so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.